Here's a question for you. You're 40 years old and miserable as fuck. How do you turn it around? Don't try to turn everything around at once. Start small. Build good habits. Start with your face and your space. Floss your teeth. Clean your sink every day. There's no turning it all around, but there's lots of skills you can use to make changing your life easier. One I use, and it's pretty stupid, but it works for me, is I role play as someone who has her shit together. If I need to haul my ass to the gym, I affect a different personality. I become an Instagram model who listens to Marina and the Diamonds and only eats cleanses for about an hour. If I need to clean my house, I put on a pretty dress and an apron and stockings and become a 50s housewife cleaning her home and preparing a 3-course dinner for her husband. If I have to go bang out some extra hours at work, I put on my blackest clothes and eyeliner and become a snobby businesswoman who only drinks black coffee and vodka. It makes mundane things more fun for me, and helps me find joy in doing the right things again. If that resonates with you, but anything that might help I want to put out there. Here is how row start. Sit down with paper and pen or Excel spreadsheet. Make list of everything you're unhappy with about your life. Leave several lines between undies. Now go back and fill in what you can do to fix every issue. If you can't figure out what to do, check YouTube or people you trust for advice. Go back and make sure the fixes are something you can realistically do. Now pick a change or two that you really want to change the most, or need to change first, and get started there. Make a scheduled plan and stick to it. Progress to next change. You very well might not be able to do all the changes. Don't beat yourself up. Focus on your successes and be glad your life is somewhat better. Good luck. The only reward for acting like an adult is self-esteem. I started hospice nursing 4 years ago, and I had to make myself do a lot of things I really did not want to do. But I mentally prepare myself with knowledge and routine and kindness to self and others that many things can be done well. Do the things you know you have to do to meet your goals, and praise yourself for it. Don't reinvent the wheel. Start over every day. I'm in my 50s, BTW. I'm hoping you have access to therapy. Something that could help is perhaps doing a values clarification. Putting into words what your values are in different areas of your life, and then thinking about what it would look like to be fully living those values. For example, if you value friendship, what can you do to be a better friend and to make more friends? If you value creativity, are you doing anything that is creative, etc.? Also, don't brush aside the fact that this past year was a real nut kicker for most of us. We have all been through some unprecedented stress. Don't forget to go easy on yourself. It's okay to be human, and it's not too late by any means to turn it around. I'm 51 and bought a squat rack 3 months ago. 3 one-hour workouts a week, squats, deadlifts, bench, military press, barbell curls, a couple of inches gone at the waist already and starting to feel the first hints of strength. Damn, it has lifted my mood. There's so much to be said for hard physical labor if you're feeling down. It was this article that got me going. One of the most important things I've ever read. https://medium.com/infitnessandinhealth/ the 4 best barbell exercises in the beginner program. Train them all a 7E14BDO4. I was pretty miserable at 40, was living in a place I despised, upstate New York. I'm a Florida boy, married to a woman who I couldn't stand, at a shitty job I could barely force myself to go to. Then I got laid off, which seemed like just another smack in the face from a universe that hated me. But I got another job that involved 100% travel. I ended up in South Africa, worked in the Mideast, divorced my horrible wife and never went back to New York, haven't even flown through it, spent years overseas. making more money than I ever thought I would. Met my wife in a bar in Africa at age 47, retired at 54. Bought a big boat that we live on half the year, have a 4-acre home site in a game park in Swaziland, a house in Florida, and are now looking to buy a small farm in the Tennessee mountains. I'm 67 now and life is not only good, it's fucking awesome, better than I literally could have imagined 27 years ago. I could have stayed in New York, stayed married, and I'd probably be dead as my own hand now. I was honestly that miserably unhappy. So do not give up, things can change in an instant. Be ready to embrace a new paradigm and do not be afraid of major changes. Go for it. What do you have to lose except a miserable existence? I see a lot of posts about exercise and starting new things, but what I found in my 40s was that I had a lot of unprocessed shit that I allowed myself to get more and more bitter about. My advice: process that shit, then let it go. Acquired bitterness will hold you back more than anything. Since when is 40 circling the drain? Snap out of it. You have many good years ahead of you. Work on your inside. Give back, find the purpose outside of yourself. Remember, every day is a day of your life. I turned 40 this year, and it's safe to say I'm not where one might want to be in life. Last year especially was a doozy, can't go through too many more like that. Going to take a huge risk and try to do something creative with my life. I have nothing to lose. Start with health. See your doctor, see what your blood work looks like and go from there. Something like 40% of the population has a vitamin D deficiency from a lack of sun. That alone can affect energy levels and mood. Start with your health. You have to make life the way you want it. No one else is going to do it for you. You have to intentionally stop and say, the way I have been doing everything isn't working. I want to change all of it. People get so stuck in the ways everyone else tells them to do everything. This is how you have to spend your life in a cubicle for 40 years. 40 hours every week. Who says you have to do that? This is how you have to buy a house and put all your money into that and spend your weekends going to the store and getting mulch and then trucking the mulch back and then spreading the mulch. What the fuck even is mulch? Life is yours. Make it what you want. I realized that 3.5 years ago, I was going through divorce. She made a hard right turn to everything Jesus and Fox News and Trump and anti-gay and right-wing shit, and I didn't make that turn with her, so I left. For a while it was awful and my life sucked wall to wall and I was so sad. I was like, God damn it, I'm 40 now and I have nothing. But things got a lot better quick. I rented an old farmhouse in the country and hung up some string lights and had a fire pit and some beers on the back porch and realized, damn, my life is like a merry-go-round. The old school kind on the playground, the metal one I used to get on when I was a kid. I would walk down to the school by my house in the summer and put my head on the metal in the middle and stare up into that cloudless Kansas sky and think about the future and girls and baseball and how everything would be better when I was my own man. I still remember that night 3.5 years ago on the back porch listening to Otis Redding, thinking about how my life is one spin around a merry-go-round. I still have half my spin left. How exciting is that? I could have less time, of course. Something could happen to me, or I could have more time, but statistically I have half a spin left and I am going to do it my way. I started thinking, what do I want my life to look like? Do I want to work myself to the bone? What do I enjoy? What do I love? My kids, of course. When I am with my kids I focus only on them. I put my phone away and take them to the zoo and we ride the sky safari and go on walks and go fishing and sometimes just turn the sprinklers on and run through them. I get in there with them too. This last weekend it was late on Saturday and the sun was going down and the sprinklers were spraying everywhere and we were soaked running through them and laughing. Just heads back and laughing. That's the good stuff of life. I want all of that, and when my kids are not with me, I love to travel and experience good new things, camp, read books, I love to go off the grid. I love to explore. In the last 3 years since that revelation by the fire, I've eaten hot chicken in Nashville and crawfish in New Orleans. I've canoed in 7 rivers and 1 crystal clear spring, and I caught a fish that was 4 fucking foot long. I've been to Gulf Shores and Key West, and I went swimming with pigs in the Bahamas. And the books. So many great books from Hemingway and Steinbeck and Where the Crawdads Sing, my new favorite. I've rekindled with old friends and climbed up observation towers and enjoyed my time. I even went skinny dipping with a wild redhead late one night in the ocean in Miami. These are all the good parts of life. I love them all. This last half of my life's been I am doing my way, and it's been fucking fantastic. Free my daughter from prison, then go on an adventure to kill a gay priest that'll eventually get the universe reset. I'm sorry to hear that. 26 and miserable here. Research shows that people, in developed countries, grow increasingly unhappy until the age of 47.2 lol. I don't have much sound advice as a stranger this morning, but perhaps you, too, will find that study interesting and or encounter something that makes you laugh and smile today. Antidepressants, travel, grow flowers from a seed, build a tree fort, volunteer at a children's home, or a homeless shelter or elderly home. It's amazing how it changes one's outlook on life. Be positive and know everyone you see also has a life that is complicated. The world revolves around each and every one of us. What irritates you is probably what irritates the rest of the people, except you can't see it. Same way they can't see it on you. You find out that your daughter is in prison, you help her escape, and then you track down a priest who follows a man named Dio. Now you have had your discs taken and have become unconscious and on life support for about 3 months. This is a guess. And you come back to find the priest about to shoot your daughter, then you stop time to move your daughter, and then the priest evolves to accelerate time and split your head in half. That's what you do at the age of 40. Depends on what's making you miserable. If it's your family, leave them. If it's your job, quit. There are always choices you can make to change your life if it's really shitty without resorting to things like hard drugs. Marijuana isn't a drug, per se. FYI, some of the choices are harder than others, but ... How bad do you want to feel better? Figure out why you're miserable and do something different. Hate your job? Find a different one. Unhappy marriage? Fix it or get divorced. Hate how you look? Buy new clothes, go to the gym, etc. 49 years old here. 40 is barely getting started. It gets way better. 40's greater than 30's. Do something crazy or stupid on purpose every day, or something nice to a random stranger. Also, what helped me is to write down every day at least 3 things that I'm happy about. It helps you focus on the positive stuff in your life. I'm still over a decade away, but I'm already in the same position. Well, almost. I'll be damned if I have an answer. The only logical one. Get rid of what makes you unhappy, aim steadily towards the things that make you happy. Doesn't work for me because I have too much to lose. My life is cozy and quiet. And while it being empty bothers me a lot, I don't see most things and people out there as being worth the effort of approaching them, let alone trading away some or all of the peace and comfort that I'm oh so grateful to have right now. Trying to find what is making you miserable. It could be anything from something like depression to being in a bad relationship to being in a bad job. If you can pinpoint the problem, you can probably figure out how to turn it around. Go to the gym if I'm fat and out of shape, reach out to old friends and reconnect, get divorced if I'm in an unhappy marriage, or I'd move away from the town I'm currently in and reset somewhere else. This makes me think of a thing I saw once. The person said they were at a crosswalk and a bunch of people just got out of AA and mentioned how boring life is now. The person said to do all the things they wanted to do as a kid but never had the money for. Take horseback riding lessons, start learning to bake, etc. Think of that one thing you always wanted to try and do it. Maybe you'll love it. Maybe that will become your great passion in life. Maybe you'll hate it and you can move on to the next thing. Only one way to find out. Well, I quit my job, started my own business, acquired the use of some land to build a workshop on, acquired a static caravan to live in right next door to the workshop, situated in the heart of the Lincolnshire Wolds, nothing but hills and fields in every direction. I guess focusing on new things and creating a new future turned my frown upside down. Yay, adulting. Identify why you are miserable. Make a list, then identify how you can change each thing. Develop an implementation plan for each change. Do it. You're in control. Fix what's wrong, one step at a time. I had a similar realization recently. I'm 39, and have been slowly pulling myself out of depression via lifestyle changes the last year. I was trying to address all the avoidance behavior by trying to figure out what the underlying fear of addressing them was. I've slowly come to realize that the only thing in life worth fearing is regret. If you don't try something, you will regret it. If you don't exercise and eat like shit, you will regret it. If you don't put effort into friendships or relationships, you will regret it. I'm trying to stay focused on that rationale. Depression makes you punish yourself with regret. No need, my brother, just give me a $50,000 and I'll fly myself out of the United States and live somewhere I'm familiar of, like my home country, then live off on median average lifestyle, have a decent size home, have a decent size farm, and live from it because you know it's a farm away from civilization. Step 1. Figure out what's making you miserable. Step 2. Take small steps to change whatever is making you miserable. Step 3. Acknowledge that if you can't change it, then you must accept that and find a way to go on. Step 4. Take further steps to be less miserable, or to accept that you can't change things and find joy in your life. Step 5. Be less miserable. Interested in other cultures? See if your community offers refugee services. They always need volunteers. I spent several years teaching English as a second language to an Ethiopian refugee, and that was during a very dark time of my personal life. When I was with her, my mind was off my own problems, and as I got to know her, my own problems took on a different proportion. Listening to her story about how she and her husband escaped soldiers firing at them. This was the early 1980s, I believe, and she was pregnant, and carrying a 5-year-old. Even something as simple as going outside with a trash bag and one of those grabber things, you can get them at hardware stores or online, and picking up trash is rewarding. You get some exercise, maybe listen to music or a book while you're out there, and invariably people will stop and thank me for what I'm doing, and it makes the neighborhood look better. Small steps are important. Doing something for others has the effect of building confidence and empathy and widening your understanding of the world. Write it down. Write where you are presently and where you want to go. Take each goal and break it down in tiny steps. Need to exercise? Goal is a marathon. First will be to get off your couch daily, then walk, then short runs. Everything is a process. Money? Get Total Money Makeover. Great book. It has a good step-by-step process. Whatever you want, break it into steps. Most fail to gain goals because they have no plan. Reevaluate what makes you happy, and focus on that. I've always been really athletic. Now 38, no longer play amateur football, and lost a lot of friends and routine because of that. Currently trying to find a new passion, also not enjoying work. You find something you like, and I can't tell you what. It is what works for you. I live on audiobooks and true crime podcasts, and read a lot. I cook for fun and watch foodie shows. I fight people for fun. You find your niche, and have coffee and good food with friends. Exercise and don't consume alcohol. Find a hobby you love. I like day trading and learning about cryptocurrency mining. I was very depressed for 2 seconds and then I figured I need to be stronger and get back to normal. I asked myself what makes me happy and what do I like to do. Then started day trading again and started digging into cryptocurrency. I read a lot and get into hardcore technology. My time flies so fast and I no longer spend hours and days looking at the dark ceiling. Do your best and get yourself out of your bed or couch. Try enjoying outside, your balcony, or backyard. I appreciate the nature God has gifted us with. I can sit for hours looking at the sky and listen to birds chirping when I am not trading over the weekend. Please take the first step and get yourself out first. Life is beautiful and only you can turn yourself around.